When I first launched this YouTube channel a few months ago, one of my goals was to eventually have sit-down conversations with seasoned band directors who had shown a track record of success, but particularly in small schools, but also band directors who had had an impact on my life and my career. One of those opportunities presented themselves just a few weeks ago when I was asked to serve as a judge for the Region 8 Middle School Waco Zone UIL Concert and Sight Reading Contest. Among the other judges on the panel that I served on was Mr. Carl E. Idlebird, a 42-year veteran, during which time he served primarily at Somerville ISD.
Conference 1A is the Somerville High School Band from Somerville, Texas, directed by Carl E. Idlebird.
Somerville is about 30 miles outside of College Station. It is such a small town that perhaps it's not where you'd expect to find a band of this caliber. However, if you go on UIL forums, you see that they are the model of consistency, earning sweepstakes award after sweepstakes award. During my career, when I was at Italy ISD, once we advanced from region to area in marching or OPS or anything like that, it usually ended up that we had to go up against Somerville, and didn't go too well for us, honestly, because he had really good bands. But one of the things that I really enjoyed just watching his bands, they were very clean on the field, or whenever we went to a honor band hearing and I got to hear his groups, they were very, very refined. And I learned a lot just from watching his bands. I learned a lot from creeping on his band on UIL forums and just seeing what they were playing. Because I knew that if he picked a song, it's probably a song that made your band sound good, right? And so this was a really neat opportunity to sit down with Mr. Idlebird. Unfortunately, we were in the middle of competition judging, and when we found a break, it was kind of hard to find a quiet place. As you can imagine, when there's a contest going on, there's schools coming in and out, students all over the place. There's school going on as well. So it was a little noisy, but aside from that, this is a little bit of what that conversation sounded like. Well, hey everyone, it's my pleasure to be joined by one of the heroes of the band faith, the one and only Carl Idlebird, who's 42 years of experience. I think roughly, 10 honor band appearances, state finals, and maybe about 6 or so state marching. That sound about right? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to be able to judge with you these last couple of days, and I just want to get a few questions for you. First of all, how did you end up in Somerville, and what kept you in Somerville?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I had taught at a 5-grade school for 7 years and thought I needed a break, so I saw the job open and went over and applied for it, and they offered the job, but I didn't accept it. And went back to Consolidated in College Station and stayed there for 12 years, and the job opened up again, so I figured that was a second chance to take it, and so I took it, and I've been there ever since.
Okay, so you've been able to teach at both the small school and big school level?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, 5A and 2A.
And you prefer the small school, I would say?
Yes, sir. A lot of football in 5A, which it can be in 2A as well. But just 5A band scene was very busy. Needed a break, and found someone.
Wonderful. Well, you have a lot of accomplishments, as we noted at the beginning in Somerville. Is there one that stands out among the rest of them?
Well, there are many. Of course, it was wonderful to make it to the state marching contest and end up third in the state.
Yes.
So that's always wonderful. But I think also just taking trips with the band. I think the first time we took a trip was to New Orleans, and that was the first time kids had ever been out of the state. So that was really neat. And we were able to take other trips to New York and eventually to Hawaii.
Wow.
And it's just we had a great time.
Wonderful. It's kind of neat when the kids, it's their first time on an elevator or first time on a plane.
Yeah.
And you get to share that with them.
Yeah.
I know some of your career you've been by yourself. Mm-hmm. And can you describe some of the biggest challenges that you faced as what I guess you would call a lone wolf director?
Yeah, one of the things that I always wanted to do was to hear every kid play. And I did that, and the way I did it was they had to make a recording, a cassette tape recording. And I put tapes on, all the kids and listen to them all day long.
Well, it got a little noisy in there, but Mr. Idlebird continued to describe how, despite being the only director, he was still able to listen to every kid play by taking the recordings home and listening to them, and then providing feedback the next day. All right, we have some movement going on in the room, but I do want to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about heterogeneous beginners. When you have all your beginners in the same classroom, do you have any advice for teachers that are in that kind of setting and how you would do that with them and do it successfully?
Take your time and be sure every kid is correct in what they're on sure, and make sure that they get what they need. Don't rush through, and sometimes you have to make them wait, and you can do that if you set them up for success. Get them to understand why they're waiting, and when the other kids hear that they're successful, or the other kids are successful, they want to be successful also. So take your time.
All right. Any advice for young directors about to take on their first job?
Well, the purpose is going to be the same wherever you go. You're going to find good kids wherever you go, and love kids, and love them to love music, and take your time to teach well, because you're going to produce what you're going to have, and it's not going to be anybody's fault but yours. So make sure that you think it out what you want to accomplish, and set the kids up for success. You may have to start pretty easy as far as difficulty levels, and then go from there. But it's yours to take care of in your time.
All right, my last question. There's a lot of changes that I'm sure you've seen over your career in music education. I'm sure some positive and negative. Can you just speak to both? What are some of the positive and negative things that you've seen and changes in music education?
My biggest problem has been being, I guess, scheduled along with academics, and when a kid has problems in academics, that sometimes they get taken out of band. That doesn't happen much with football. So I'm just fighting that, trying to keep the numbers up and trying to get the kids interested. Most of my kids do everything. They're on the football team, basketball, whatever the case may be. And I'm still trying to keep them in the program. So that's probably the hardest thing about small schools. And, but continue to love it and teach who you have. Thank the Lord for the opportunity.
I remember you said something similar to that at a clinic you did at TBA one time, because we also do deal with the same issues of kids, being pulled for this or that. But you teach the ones that are there, and the next day you teach the ones that are there, and eventually you'll get to all of them, right? But well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time, and thank you so much, and congratulations on a just phenomenal career that a lot of us and the younger people have looked up to for so long.
Thank you. I appreciate you for doing this.
Absolutely. Thank you.